Alright folks, we're going to talk about the new Makita 40 volt platform. In my opinion of where they're going with this, what they plan on doing with it, and so forth. Alright, so first thing I want to say is a lot of people are worried about the 18 volt platform going bye-bye. That's not going to happen. This new 40 volt platform, and what I got here is just showing you the size of basically, and if you have the 3 amp hour battery, it's the same size as the 4, the 5, and the 6. All right, Makita utilizes 2 rows of 18 650s in their 18 volt platform. A lot of people are hoping maybe they go to the 21 700 platform, or 21 700 battery platform, or at least have maybe 1 or 2 choices in that 21 700, you know, maybe like a 3 CP, right, with 1 row of the 21 700s, or even better, maybe a 4 amp hour battery with 1 row of those, you know, 4 of those 21 700 cells. But like I always said with Makita wants to make their tools the lightest and the most user-friendly as they can. All right, for the professional, for the contractor, for the tradesmen who are using these tools all day. They want them to be comfortable, lightweight, and once you kind of go to that 21 700 cell, things can kind of start getting a little heavy, so to speak. All right, remember, even if you have a 3 amp hour CP battery, it's going to be heavier than even the 6, most likely, even though this has 2 rows in it. And that 3 CP with 1 row of 21 700s, even though it's 1 row, it's going to be heavier because they are much bigger cells. Okay, here is the 2.5 amp hour new 40 volt battery. Okay, I'm just going to put this, not trying to be too crazy here. All right, as you can see, not really that big of a difference here. Okay, and one reason for that is that the 2 amp hour, or the 2.5 amp hour, utilizes 18 650 cells. Okay, and if you look at a lot of these 40 volt tools, spec wise, they're not really that different from the 18 volt tools. Okay, now obviously with these being 40 volt, you're going to be able to generate more power, but my personal opinion with this 40 volt platform, and you've heard me mention this since this was first announced, I don't know, probably close to 2 years ago. I think these were supposed to debut a lot earlier. I can't really remember. I think the December or January of 2020, these were supposed to come out. I mean, it took a couple more months, but we knew about this, and this has been released in Japan and in Europe. This has been out for probably 2 years already, this 40 volt platform. But like other companies that are doing, like Milwaukee, right, the MX platform, that's basically a 72 volt platform, and the batteries are very expensive, very heavy, and you know, the tools that they're kind of, you know, adding to that platform, to that MX platform. The lady next door is using the wall trimmer, and she's getting upset if that's what you hear in the background. But anyway, so there's been a kind of a delay on this, but what Milwaukee's doing with those, you know, MX tools are really trade specific. Now with this 40 volt platform, they're coming out with 50 tools right off the bat here in North America, right? I got a little something written on the website, toolboss44.net. You want to, very small, but basically just going over the basics here. But again, my opinion is that they're going to be utilizing this just like their X2 18 volt, right? We see a lot of tools. They must have probably 60, 70 tools that are X2, whether they're OPE tools, some of their more trade specific, higher performance, higher power tools, you know, SDS, you know, miter saws and stuff like that. But what I think Makita is doing, instead of having kind of that big MX type battery, that 72 volt battery, you know, kind of really expensive, I think they plan on using this as an 80 volt. Okay, like I said, just like Makita uses the 18 volt as an X2 to get, you know, 36 volt, right? That's what I think they're going to try to do here and make 80 volt. Now, obviously, they already announced a couple 80 volt tools that utilize 2 of these 40 volt batteries. But again, to have, you know, I'm going to use this only because really they're the same thing, and we'll weigh them and everything. But as you can see, wouldn't you rather have this on your SDS than one of those big MX Milwaukee batteries? All right, now we know DeWalt kind of has their flex volt, which is, you know, 60 volt. But I think Makita is smart, is they're trying, and they are really the leaders in using 2 batteries, right? Obviously, DeWalt kind of uses 2 of their 20 volt batteries with their lawnmower and stuff like that. But I think that this is basically to kind of set up their 80 volt line of tools, where really high performance tools, you know, SDS, you know, tools really just like the MX, right? You know, lights that, you know, imagine using one of these or 2 of these in one of your, you know, 15,000 lumen lights, right? Instead of one of those big MX batteries, and the costs. You know, the one thing that I think why that MX platform is failing so badly is the price structure, or the price of those tools. Very expensive. Now they're kind of giving free batteries out here and there, but you know, again, imagine having a power station where you can put, you know, 4 of these batteries, kind of like a, you know, DeWalt power station setup, right? You know, instead of obviously 2 big 72 volt batteries from the MX power station. All right, but really quick on these 40 volts, the 2.5 amp hour and the 4 are going to utilize 18650 cells. All right, now if you've seen the 5 amp hour battery, you've noticed it's much bigger. That's because in that battery, and that is really the only battery in the entire Makita platform of tools, batteries, voltages, that is a 21700 cell battery. And if you look at it now, the 4 really, again, isn't much bigger than this 2.5. All right, but if you notice pictures of that 5 amp hour battery, it's really, really big. Okay, but you know, like I said, this basically is a 5 amp hour battery. It's as simple as that. All right, if you look at the watt hours on this, 90 watt hours, and this is 90 watt hours. Common sense, right? And this is basically a 36 volt battery. All right, not a 40, but you know, it is what it is. But as you can see, 90 watt hours and 90 watt hours. All right, so believe it or not, this 6 actually is a bigger battery. Okay, it will give you a little bit longer runtime. All right, now this is 40 volt versus 18 volt, but watt hour wise, this is a bigger battery, the 6. All right, coming in at, sorry, 108 watt hours. I got to do it this way. It's this way with the Makita, this way with the, this way with the 40 volt, this way with the 18 volt. All right. Weighing it wise, I'll show you real quick before I run out of time here. Okay. We're looking at, actually, let's, £1 pound. Wait, this thing's all, I wanted this to do ounces. All right, 25.20 ounces. 25.20 ounces. And you go to a 5 amp hour battery, 22.55 ounces. All right, so again, sticking this battery, you know, on an impact driver versus your, you know, 18 volt 5 amp hour battery, there's really no difference at all, guys. Size wise, again, you know, really no difference. Here is a better way. Now my thing's gonna run out. Okay, so here's a better look at the size comparison of the 5 amp hour 18 volt battery, okay, and the 2.5 amp hour 40 volt battery. As you can see, guys, they're basically the same size. I would say at most, all right, you're looking at about 2/10 of an inch longer, all right, if that. All right, I don't want to say 1/4 of an inch because I don't even think it's that much. All right, 2/10 of an. That's what makes this a very versatile platform, guys. All right, really quick. So this will charge in 28 minutes. Like I said, this is basically a 5 amp hour 18 volt battery, and this will charge in 28 minutes from dead to full. Okay, and I believe 18 or 19 minutes up to 80%. All right, the 4 amp hour battery, okay, will charge in 40 minutes. All right, and remember, guys, that 4 amp hour 40 volt battery is basically an 8 amp hour 18 volt battery. All right, so to have that charge in 40 minutes is pretty spectacular. All right, and remember, that's what 18650 sells. All right, and what's great about this 40 volt platform as well, you get a rapid charger with your kit. Now they have a rapid charger, a dual rapid charger. They also make an adapter that you can charge your 18 volt batteries on the 40 volt charger. Okay, so again, versatility. But again, you know what you're going to be able to do with 80 volts with 2 of these batteries, whether again it's cutoff saws, SDSs, you know, breakers, you know, stuff that's in that Milwaukee MX platform, you're going to be able to do the same thing with this 40 volt platform, but have the versatility of just using one battery with it to use it an impact driver or a hammer drill or whatever, a, you know, orbital sander, you know, just making up stuff, a grease gun, whatever, right? And you know, the possibilities of this 40 volt platform with OPE tools is going to be spectacular. Now you're going to have 80 volts. Imagine the runtime. I mean, they're getting, you know, 60 minutes with 2 6 amp hour 18 volt batteries. So imagine what they're going to be able to do with 2 5 amp hour batteries, you know, two 40 volt 5 amp hour batteries. Okay. And the 5 amp hour battery, again, from what I was told, is 21700 cells, and that's going to charge in 50 minutes. Okay, so that 5 amp hour battery is basically a 10 amp hour 18 volt battery. Okay, but again, my opinion is I think they want to have versatility, Makita, with this XGT platform. You know, to power some of those tools, again, like a 14-inch cutoff saw, a breaker, you know, stuff like that. They're going to be able to do it with 2 of these batteries. And when you don't need maybe your 14-inch cutoff saw, you can take one of the batteries off your 14-inch Makita cutoff saw and put it on your impact driver or impact wrench, and, you know, still have that small size, the versatility, you know, compact size to use on, you know, hundreds of tools. You know, that MX platform, you know, you're never going to be able to put one of those MX batteries on a impact driver, right? Obviously. So it makes it very one-dimensional, and the cost structure of having just one battery power 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 tools, I don't know. I think Makita is very smart going this route with using 2 batteries when you need to. Okay, and that's one thing I will give, you know, Milwaukee credit for. They haven't really gone to that 2 battery system, but I think Makita very, very smart. And as you can see, here is your indicator. Very nice batteries, again, IPX4 rated, just like the entire platform. But any comments or questions? I'm running out of time. I'll catch you.